What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and today we're going to be diving into the play of Kyle Hamilton, taking a look at what he does that makes his defense much more effective, specifically against the run, basically being used as a hybrid inside linebacker in recent weeks that has gone a long way in shoring things up. I'm also trying a different format, trying to make these videos a little quicker, less on camera. It should make the film less glitchy. If you guys can do me a favor, drop a comment down below. Let me know if you appreciate this experience more. Also, hit that like button, hit subscribe to support the channel. Let's get right into the film. So you can see right here from the alignment, this has been something we're seeing from Kyle Hamilton a lot more in the last couple weeks, where they're bringing him down essentially as like an off-ball Sam linebacker. You see we got Roquan here as the Mike, we got Teddy Buchanan as the Will, and Kyle's going to do a lot of different things down here, but what he's really doing that's making a huge impact is really helping the run defense. And just with his athleticism, he's also helping the pass rush, as well as a little bit in the pass game, of course, but we're going to dive into this a little bit later next week. But what it does for Alohi Gilman and Malachi Starks is really frees them up to be safeties and just kind of play split look, single high, do more creative things with them while using Kyle in an area that was a deficiency. So you can see right here what he does against the run. So you see him step up there. That walk up's pretty important because they do this a lot with him, and he's so big and athletic that, you know, he's almost like a pseudo defensive lineman just with his size. He obviously isn't as heavy weight wise, but he'll be able to shoot gaps like this where he's just going to step up, and you see right there he's going to push through that gap. And what that does, and we've talked about this quite a bit with this focus on the zone game, so they're going to go outside zone from Miami's focus. So they're just kind of going, you know, steps to their right, and what Devon Achan's going to do here is he's going to read outside, inside, and what Kyle Hamilton does is he forces that cutback. So he's going to step in, and right there he's going to essentially create the edge. And if we look downfield, we see Marlon Humphrey getting sent. We see, 64 making a block here. We see them having a climb up to the second level. We also see the backside being walled off. So without Kyle Hamilton stepping in here, you're looking at getting him into the second level, specifically outside the hash marks, which is where he does his damage. But by forcing that cutback with that penetration, allows Kyle Van Noy to come down the line and get a nice cleanup tackle. Teddy Buchanan also coming down the line. So this is what I mean by he's being used almost as a pseudo inside linebacker. You see it again here. He's off to your side. He does this a lot in this Miami Dolphins game where he's traveling with Devon Achan, and that's a pretty interesting usage. They like to go two back, so you got Ollie Gordon here in the backfield. Achan split out wide. There he goes in motion. And you see Kyle shoot through the gap and get the tackle in there with Teddy Buchanan. And so right here, he's going to follow Achan and then work the backside. And you see, again, just shooting backside gaps. We just saw him shoot the front side. Now he shoots the backside, assisting to that, but looking, again, more like a linebacker. We see him lined up here. He's on the strong side of the field. You got Teddy and Roquan in there as well. You see Gilman step down. So now we got Malachi Starks one high. Very different look than what we were getting early in the season with Kyle Hamilton playing deep. And there's Kyle. He's going to walk up. Snap goes and just absolutely bury. And this is the difference, right? They can be very creative with his usage because what happens in these situations is Roquan and Teddy, they're going to have gap integrity. And so is Kyle, but because he's a safety walked up and they're going to go single high, it allows you to spread horizontally. So he can shoot this backside gap, Gilman can shoot the front side gap, and then Teddy and Roquan can play gap responsibility with the rest of the defensive line. So it just allows Kyle to be creative and instinctual. And when he steps up here, the coverage focused on the commentary team focused on a mistake being made by the offensive line, but this is just Kyle stepping up late in the snap count because it wasn't, he's up there pre-snap read, and then when he steps up before the snap, he just shoots back with no backside tight end or any help. So just really shows how explosive he can be. We get into another play here. They're going to run a gap concept, so you're going to get down blocks from the left side of their line. You're going to get a pulling guard. Kyle's going to be one of the players right in that area, and here he is working inside the tackles. You can see him initiate that point with the receiver. So they're going to run their gap scheme. So they're going to go down blocks here, pull. The job of the receiver here in the slot is to come in and get Kyle. Kyle's going to force the issue, and this is what I mean by being assertive with your blocks, or taking on blocks. So he's going to force contact, and by doing that, he creates the leverage in the gap. So he's going to pop and then come back into the gap, rather than letting 18 come and then him have to deconstruct while potentially moving backwards or trying to overtake the block. He's going to initiate contact and then come back inside. So it just creates that gap being a little bit bigger for him to fit the run. So just his physicality is one of the best you'll see. There he is stepping up on the edge again, and you see last time we saw him do this, there's no backside edge player. So we got Brent Urban here as a 5 tech. You got Travis Jones and John Jenkins as 1 techs and 3 techs, and then you got David Ajabo as the lone outside linebacker. So they only have 1 outside linebacker on the field at this time, and a lot of that's because they're running with 3 outside linebackers right now. Carl Lawson isn't active yet. Kyle's going to act as that kind of pseudo backside outside linebacker. So again, showing all of his different use cases, and there he's going to come off and set the edge on a little end around. And this play would have worked fantastic if Travis Jones or John Jenkins or Brent Urban. Urban should be holding that contain lane here, and everybody just kind of misses the tackle, over pursues it. They end up getting a nice little gain there, but Kyle doing what he does so well from the outside linebacker position. Watch him read this. So he's going to step up and take on that pulling player. This would have been a loss of like 6 yards, but no one comes. He doesn't clean it up. So I mean, credit or fair criticism there, but nobody else comes in to clean it up either. So just shows all the different ways he can be used in the run game and how they're masking some of these deficiencies. So we've seen him mask some of the deficiencies at inside linebacker. We've seen him fill in as an outside linebacker, just able to get it done in so many different ways, especially in the run game. Here you're going to see him right on the front side. So again, he's in here. We have Mike Green back in on the strong side here playing the Sam. You got David Ajabo on the back as a rush. They have a 4-down line. He's going to be here as like a walk down overhang on the strong side of the field. And look at him take on this tight end, and he's just going to basically chuck down right there and defeat that block and then get in on the tackle. So he's just able to be so effective with his athleticism and his range. And then we also see what he's able to do in the pass game. Now, it's not quite the same. We didn't see him have to take on a lot of tight end responsibilities. As I mentioned, followed Achane around a lot in this game. But what he's able to do in the overhang, it's going to be less geared towards the pass, more geared towards the run, but he can still make an impact in the pass game as well. So here you're going to see it. They're going to run a screen, and this is Kyle Hamilton. Throwing a screen at Kyle Hamilton is just a bad idea. He just blows it up like no other. So he's just going to run through the block. Basically what has to happen here for this play to be successful is you get the receiver come out here, block Wiggins. You get the slot receiver. He's got to come in and take Hamilton. And then Gordon, who's a running back, is going to basically try and get into this third level against the safety. But Kyle Hamilton comes in, forces through. That forces Gordon to have to come back out as the offensive line's pushing. This is where all your reinforcements are. You don't want him getting outside because that's where the space is. You want to force him back into the heart of the defense, and as he does that, they're able to clean it up. So that's just Kyle Hamilton's such a good force player. When you throw it outside, he can play through the blocking wide receiver shoulder anywhere to force the ball where he wants it to go. So even if he's not making a play on the ball, he's still making key plays that set the edge here. Now you're going to see him again, another screen. This was pretty much the only way the Dolphins could have a productive play in the second half. See him right there to deconstruct that block. So same idea, except he's not playing a force player here. This is outside to the outside wide receiver. He's got to take on this block, so focus right there. And you see him do it so damn well. He just throws that guy on the ground and then makes that tackle. This is that one that they thought might have been a penalty, but he didn't grab anything, didn't get too high around his neck. And then one of the most bizarre plays we've seen. So like I mentioned, he's going to go one-on-one with Achane here. I think against other teams you'll see him on a tight end, but they wanted to focus on Achane in this game, so they put their best defender on their best offensive playmaker, and they're going to basically go to run a back shoulder fade to a smaller running back against a 6'4 safety. Just bad play calling. But Kyle Hamilton comes out, plays this really well, even if Achane does get to it. You can see right there, he gets his head back to the ball when the ball would have been landing. So he's still able to do quite a bit in coverage, but just kind of what I'm seeing is they're really focusing on him making plays in in the run game and how he can help out their run defense. But obviously, as things move on, as we see different teams come in, I think he's going to take on a lot more tight end responsibility in pass coverage. So it'll be interesting to see how that is going to develop. So that's what I have for you guys. That's the Kyle Hamilton difference. That's how he made an impact in this game. Excited to see how he can continue to stack games as we move forward. That's all for you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.